Blue's got to be on, otherwise it's not recording. So if you ever see it's a red light, let me know. Okay. So in that situation, if you look at this cubic, notice how it appears to have two parabolas. Like it doesn't look like it's kind of got a parabola going down and then a parabola going up. Does that kind of look like it? So what we say is that this cubic has, in this region right here, it has what we call a local maximum. It's a maximum value within this local area, and it also has a minimum within the local area. I'm going to show you how to find the minimum, and you're going to find the maximum. Ready? Second, trace or calculate. Okay. Which one do you think I select? Minimum. I select number 3. We've already done value. We've done 0. I select number 3 for minimum. So 3 is what I select. What's the calculator ask of me at this time? It asks me for the left bound. So I scroll on over. And by the way, I went pretty fast yesterday, probably too fast. If you like me to go slower a little bit, at any point, I'm going to go a little bit slower today, but don't be afraid to interrupt me and pause me there, okay? I am at the bottom of the parabola, okay? That's where, or the cubic. That's where I get myself to. Now I move to the left. I move left. It doesn't really matter how far you move left. Just make sure you're left of the bottom. What do you think I do? I press enter. Now what does my calculator ask of me? Right bound, so I move to the right of the minimum. Doesn't matter how far right. I just move to the right. I press enter. And then you can press enter on your guess option. In this situation, for a minimum, we want to produce the y value. So our minimum value is and we're writing to 3 decimal places, negative 0.171. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is, on your own, see if you can do the same type of operation, except find the maximum. Okay? See if you can get that maximum. Go. Okay, I've got a maximum of y is equal to 2.000. We good with that?
2.171.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking I'm remembering from yesterday when I did it with the other group. And, I think it was maybe the intersection point comes up to be a value 2. Maybe that's where I'm making a mistake. $2.171. Thank you. By the way, Maggie says she already bought you your Christmas present. So you better step up your game. All right. So, excellent. We're going to show you another option that you're going to need to be able to do. It says select y1 and y2. So as I go into y equals, make sure you plug in y2 if you don't have it right now. So I'm going to go down and it's just 0.5x. I'm going to press enter on that. How many graphs should I see? 2 graphs. I'm going to leave myself right now. I'm operating at a 3x3 window. And so I'm going to press graph here and notice I get 2 graphs. How many times do those intersect? They intersect 3 times. So just to let you understand, we have the function x cubed minus 2.1x plus 1, and we're wondering where is that equal to 0.5x. We're wondering where do those intersect. That's a complicated equation. That's difficult to figure out. We can solve that very easily on our calculator. I'm going to show you how. Second, calculate. Anybody want to guess what I press? Intersect. And intersect is going to be your last option here. So we select number 5, intersect. What does your calculator ask of you? First curve. Please watch as I navigate this so you understand what's happening. Notice how the calculator says I'm currently on the cubic. If I press up and down, it moves back and forth between the curve and the line. Your calculator doesn't understand the difference between curve and line, so it always just asks first curve or second curve or what it is. All you want to do is you just want to move close to the point of intersection. Now, I just have to move close enough so that you're closer to that one and not to the other one. Do you get my point? Like you're trying to your calculator doesn't know which point of intersection you're trying to find. There's 3 of them, you know what I mean? If I move close to this one, now it knows I'm going to be finding the one furthest to the right. And so it says first curve, I press enter on the first curve. Notice how it puts a little X mark there, and then it automatically jumps down to another curve. It's asking, is that the second curve that you'd like to use? Yes, I would, so I press enter. I don't need to guess, and if you look, it will automatically then move and find that exact spot. So right now, we have an intersection of, there's going to be 3 of them. You're going to write down the other 2. I have 1.366, and I have 0.683. Nope, you're going to write down just your first 3 decimals that pop up. So what I'd like you to do right now is see if you can find your other 2 points of intersection. Make sure they match with what I have. Everybody try that? Go. 5 options. So those are your intersection points. Those are the 5 options. We're ready to kind of start to get ready to kind of wrap up here. I want you to go back into y equals. And I want you to go down to the 0.5x and press enter on it and get rid of it. Okay? So we're just going to look at the first one right now. And here's another option that you're going to use a lot on your calculator, and it's called your table option. If you notice, there's the word table here, right above graph, and then there's the table set. That's where we organize our table. So press second window, and you're going to get to a table set. Okay? All right. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that right now. Just give me a number, whatever number you want. 2. So we're going to start our table for an x value of 2. You get to choose where you want to start. How much do you want to go up by every time? Okay, 2 or 1 or whatever. It doesn't matter what you choose. I'm going to choose 1 because that's very common for people. Actually, I'm going to choose 0.1 just to make things interesting. We'll choose 0.1, okay? So what that's going to do is it's going to make an XY table. You don't have to write this down, but if you want to, you can. It's going to produce an XY table where the first value is 2, and then 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, so on and so forth. And it's going to generate that for you. So if you look at this, there's a triangle here. That's the Greek letter, capital letter for D or delta, and that means change. So our table is going to change by 0.1 each time. And we want it to automatically generate those values for us. So we have it set to auto. Everybody got that? Now, if you go second table, you can see that your XY table is all filled out for you. You don't have to do any work. If you want to, you can scroll up and it will go backwards for you. It will take you to any values you want. Now, suppose you do this, you're like, well, I want to know what an X value of 50 would produce. So you're like, I'm going to type in 50. Your calculator doesn't do anything, does it? So I don't actually use this operation hardly at all. Very rarely do I ever use this. I'll show you what I use and what you want to use. You ready? I go back into my table set. I don't care about the start because I want to type in what I want. I don't care about the change. I want to type in what I want. So what do I do to show it? I want to type in what I want. I set the independent variable to ask. And it's going to ask me the independent variable and automatically produce the y value. So setting that to ask, probably one of the most common things that happens later on when people get to calculus, like, my table isn't working, Mr. Gens. Well, that's because you didn't set it to ask. So that's in your table set. Now if I go to table, I could type in whatever I want. Give me a number. 50. We'll try the 50. And there you go. Get a really big number. I type in 0.2. I get a number. I type in pi, and I get a number. Okay? So if you move over that number, it'll actually show you the whole piece, whereas this rounds it off as well. So that's a nice option on your calculator. Watch what happens when we do this. I'm going to give it a number like, I don't know, a big number, like 1,000 or 10,000 or something. I get 1E12. What does that mean? Scientific notation, 1 times 10 to the 12th power, otherwise known as 1 trillion. Yep, it's like our national debt, except 30 times less. So that's what we've got, okay? Any question on that? See how that works? So the table option is great. Show you our last deal here, which I think is kind of cool. Press mode. When you go into mode, you can scroll down and move over to horizontal. I press enter on horizontal, and that's the type of graph that it's going to show me. When I press graph, it now shows you the graph that we had earlier, but it also gives you space down here to work. So you can take 98 times 752 if you want. And that way you can keep the graph viewed if you would like to. There's another option that's kind of cool. If you press mode and you go down here instead of horizontal, if you go over to GT, that's graph table. And now when you press the graph, it gives you the graph view. It also produces the table on the side, which is a really cool option. So notice as I press trace, I can, it's really cool actually, I can press trace and move around and it actually shows me the data points right there. If I press table and I'm over here now, if I type in 50, it will produce that output for me. So, so there's different options that your calculator will use for you. What do you think? Okay, you guys are fortunate. We got a little bit of time left. Do you want me to help you to plug in the really cool thing on your calculator? Yeah. Okay, you got time. You guys gonna focus? Yeah. Okay, all right. So let's focus here, and we'll get through this. Okay. Can you give me just 2 minutes real quick? Okay, I need something real quick, and then I'll be ready to go. I forgot something. My memory's leaving me. Okay, so this is entirely optional for you. Is it something that we use? Yes. Some people take the time to plug it in. Some people don't. So part of what I like to do is, let's see here, is this still recording? Yeah, it is. Okay. So part of what I like to do is if I get this situation, okay, so suppose I get, x squared minus 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. Does that factor? No, it doesn't. So I would need to use the quadratic formula. And for sometimes people, that's kind of a pain in the butt. Well, you can actually write programs for your calculator to solve all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to show you how to quick write a program into your calculator, and it will produce the answers for you in seconds. You good with that? Okay, so if you ever lose this, I sent it to you guys on Google Classroom. If anybody noticed that within their notes, it said, here's a video for you. It's just 4 minutes and 1 second long, so this is what I wrote for you, so you can always find it. But so we're going to do this. Okay, so try to tune in. We're going to turn our calculator on, and you're going to go into program. Everybody good? You're going to make a new program. Please go over to new. Probably basic. Press enter and name it something. Maybe quadratic. Now, notice how your cursor is blinking with an A. That means that it's looking for your alphabetical operations. So you can see the green letters. Those give you alphabetical operations. So I'm going Q, U, let's see, where's my U, A, D. And I'll press enter. Good. So my program's called Quad. If you at any point get lost, I'll show you. Allie, is it falling apart for you? Okay. We good? So what we want to have happen is we want your calculator to ask you what's A, B, and C for the quadratic formula. That's what we want it to ask. So we're going to do that. All we need to do is the way the calculator asks you is through a prompt. So to find prompt, okay, this is where all your commands can be found, is there's a yellow word that says catalog. Press second 0 and it brings you a catalog. And those are all the commands in your calculator. Now, I don't want any of the A's. I want P for prompt. So I'm going to press the letter P, and it's going to bring me to the P's. And then I scroll down to the word prompt. And I press enter. Yep. Good. So second catalog, P for prompt, and then scroll down till you get to prompt and press enter. Yep. This is the easy way for people to remember. Okay, we all good? Okay, now watch this. Okay, I need to grab A, B, and C. So I hit alpha, so I get alpha. I do A. And then the comma is right above 7, comma, alpha B, comma, alpha C. Comma is right above 7. So you got to press alpha so you get the green values.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I forgot to push alpha, so now I'm in the apps. How do I get back?
So just second quit, and now press program. And now you want to edit your quadratic formula. Okay. Good. Everybody good? Okay. So just so everybody understands, folks, so suppose I make a mistake, I end up on a different screen, like I press stat, oh, that brings me out there, then just quit, go to a blank screen, and then go back into program. Do I want to edit quad, or do I want to make a new one? I want to edit, so go over and press edit, and there you are, and now I can move down there, and here I go. The first thing we're going to do is have it calculate the discriminant. The discriminant is that part underneath the square root sign. Anybody remember what's underneath the square root sign?
B squared minus 4AC.
Yeah, so we go alpha b squared minus 4ac. The squared button is right kitty corner of the 7. Nope, we got to look, just 2 more buttons.
I accidentally clicked clear. How do you get the letters? Remember you said...
Okay, so see how your letters are green?
Yeah.
So you have to press the green button. So turn it on, program. You're going to edit your quadratic formula, okay? Yep, so you got to do the prompt ABC again.
Now I pressed the button trying to help me.
So now you're trying to execute it. You want to go into program and you want to edit it.
How did I get that?
So you go alpha A, comma, alpha B, comma, alpha C. program. Oh. There you go now. Alpha C. There you go. Okay. All right. So once you have the b squared minus 4ac, okay, if you're a little bit behind, you might have to watch a video. We got to catch up on Monday. But b squared minus 4ac, the next thing you press is the store key, which is right above the on key. We're going to store that as the discriminant, so alpha d. So that's your second line. The store key is right above on, and then d. So that's what we want. So that's 2 out of our 4 lines. We just have 2 more to go. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're just going to type in this thing you see in parentheses there. That's the quadratic formula. Parentheses, negative, b. We're going to start with the plus, the square root of the discriminant, which is d, b squared minus 4ac, which is d. So we just have to press d. Close the parenthesis, and close the parenthesis again, and divide it by parentheses 2 alpha a parenthesis. And again, this is all online. Start clapping for when she comes in. She's so good at her job. Okay, I press enter on that. Now we want to produce the second result, which is simply minus. So we do the same thing. Negative alpha b minus the square root of d divided by 2a. We changed it. Remember, the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus. So we did a plus and a minus. That's all you need. Are you ready to see it in work? All right, super exciting. Okay, I'll show you how it works. For those of you who have it in, you'll see it. For those of you who don't, I'll come around and help you and get you going. But here's how it works. You press program, and now do we want to execute the program, edit it, or make a new one? You want to execute it, so I'm going to execute my quads. Thank you. Appreciate it. Got somebody to laugh. So it pops up program quad. You press enter to execute it, okay? So we're going to press in 1, and we'll try -2, and we'll try -8. So if you had x squared minus 2x minus 8, your solution should be...
Done.
Oh.
I get done.
I get done. I got -2. I got -2.
Yeah, I got it.
Sorry?
I did all.
Go back into Y or program. Go into edit. We got to make it display. We got to insert the display command. Sorry about that. You ready? Okay. So I want to... We'll wait till everybody's at the screen. So I wanted to display these two. So right now it's calculating them. It's just not displaying them for us. So I want to display that. So I need to insert the display command. You can insert things by going second delete or INS. And now it's going to insert something there. Whoop. Mine's just deleting, isn't it? Come on, second insert. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to insert a negative sign. Whatever. I'll just do it. So we go catalog, and you go D for display. It's right above the 0. It's right on the 0. Yep. 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 Disp. And then you should have, is your guys' inserting properly? It looks like my inserting is not happening properly. There it goes. Yeah, there we go. Now I've got mine, so I was able to insert it. I've got that display. Yep. Yep, got to do it for both. And so I'm going to second catalog and display, D for display.
Now if I exit out.
And I need a parenthesis on that guy.
Now if I try so
So if you didn't get something, I'll help you later with it, but I want to see it work. Execute my quads. Again, super funny. We got 1, -2, and -8. Let's see if I get it.
Oh, I got 2 and 4.
Yeah, I got 4.
Yeah, I must have typed something wrong into mine. Wow, I'm having troubles.
I got 4 -2. 4 -2 done.
AB plus minus. Oh, I need the. There we go. Delete right there. Program. One, -2, -8, and I get. There we go. No. So you do not need to turn this in, but you now have all the resources to complete all of your homework. Please come on Monday with some questions ready to go. We'll do a checkpoint both on Monday and Tuesday. You should have your study guide as well.